All right, good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. A little bit of wrestling talk here with the Iceman today. Um, I don't know how anybody else feels, but lately I'm having a hard time getting through these 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. Um, I'm not saying the show was bad. I'm not saying it was good, but I have to be quite honest with you. It's been so redundant as of late. How many people out there are you guys getting tired of these handicap matches that the Authority puts on? You know, against Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns or whomever, and it always favors, it seems, Seth Rollins for the most part. And aren't you getting a little bit tired for the guy that's supposed to be the biggest guy in the company that really can't come off with a clean win without his two stooges, J&J Security? I call them J&J Entertainment myself, but Monday Night's Raw was just a typical Raw. And the thing that I didn't understand about Raw is we have one more Raw before Fastlane. And and just to put things in perspective, why is Dean Ambrose in the last couple weeks facing Curtis Axel? He demolishes him in a very short time. And where is this, you know, involving for him to go after the Intercontinental Belt and Wade Barrett? Uh, I thought Wade Barrett should have been on the show last night in a wrestling match um, to make himself look strong. You want to have both guys going in for that belt to look strong at Fastlane. And why Barrett wasn't on the show remains to be seen. And they had matches really on the show that, to me, that didn't really make any sense. I mean, they opened the show with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan going up against the Big Show and Kane. Um, and this is another typical uh, idea that the WWE has done so many times in the past, where when you got two competitors that are going to fight each other at a major pay per view, which I wouldn't call Fastlane a major pay per view, but it is a pay per view, they always put them together in a tag team to see how they coexist. And you always know, because it always happens, there's always some sort of controversy, as there was last night. Um, I thought the match was a cheap finish match, but this was the setup for the main event. Obviously, the Bryan and Roman Reigns win by DQ because of Big Show, outside the ring and his antics with Daniel Bryan throwing him into the barricade. So all of a sudden, you know, it was disqualification. I mean, any other time we wouldn't see this happen, but we saw it, last night. So what the Authority did was they put Reigns and Bryan in a handicap match later on against, again, the Big Show, Kane, Seth Rollins, and J&J Security, quote unquote, entertainment. So we moved on. Ryback and Seth Rollins. Again, how often do you get to see Seth Rollins ever lose cleanly? There's always some sort of outside interference, and that's usually J&J Security Entertainment. And again, nothing different here. Ryback comes out and wins by DQ, so you know, didn't make any sense. But then we saw Paige and Brie Bella, uh, which you sort of knew Paige was going to win. She's got Nikki at Fastlane, so they're gonna try to make Paige look strong. Although I think at Fastlane that Nikki's going to retain the title, and I think if she loses, it'll be at Mania. But this was a pretty quick match. So I think the Lana Rusev segment with their tribute to John Cena um, was pretty good. And the only reason why I think they come up with this idea was because John wasn't going to be able to wrestle. He has a scratched cornea. They're trying to make it look like it was an injury due to by Rusev. His eye was all swollen and purple and whatnot. So Cena couldn't wrestle. So they had to find some way to get him on the show, to get him involved. And I thought this was an okay idea. Um, I'm looking forward to the match between Cena and Rusev at Fastlane. It's one match I am looking forward to. But again, like I said, um, you know, Cena couldn't wrestle, so they had to find some way to get him on the show. And then we saw Bray Wyatt and Dolph Ziggler once again. And are they wrestling at Fastlane? I'm not sure, but this is the second week in a row. And in my eyes, if they're going to wrestle at Fastlane, if they do, what the hell is WWE having them wrestle each other 2 weeks in a row before, or a few weeks before the pay-per-view? It takes away a lot of the steam and a lot of the intensity wanting to see them at the pay-per-view. So this didn't make any sense in my eyes either. And then of course Big E and Kofi going up against Gold and Stardust. This has been in the making of the breakup between Gold and Stardust. We'll probably see them possibly wrestle each other at Mania. And it's gotten to the point now where does anybody really care? I mean, really. And then we had Cesaro and Tyson Kidd going up against the Usos in a non-title match. I do think Kidd and Cesaro are eventually going to get the titles. Whether or not they win them at Fastlane or at Mania, I do believe that they're going to get these belts. And, it's time. Nothing against the Usos, but their time to shine is, it's been quite a while. So, but anyway, really, nothing stood out thus far on Raw. We had the segment with Triple H calling out Sting, and then they're shining up in the stands and whatnot, and you're showing Sting here, then you're showing Sting there, and they shine the face paint on Triple H, and he breaks down like he's scared. I mean, I don't know. I didn't buy into it. I mean, I just thought this was, to be quite honest with you, a ripoff of the old WCW days. And everybody's complaining that everybody copies the WWE. Well, WWE copies everybody else as well. I think they all do it, and I see no harm in it. But it's just one of those things. Sin Cara and Damien Mizdow with Miz. That they're eventually going to break up and they're going to end up going one-on-one. But the fans are really into Mizdow, and they need to let him go over. They need to let this guy get a win. I mean, he tried to put the figure 4 on Sakara, and the Miz was all ticked off about it. Told him he couldn't use my move. Sakara ended up getting the win over Mizdow, and I thought that was a bad move by the WWE. I really think that now's the time where the fans are really into him to really give him a win there. And then, like I said, Dean Ambrose and Curtis Axel. Axel's just a jobber as of late. And I think Ambrose defeating Axel again for the second time in a row means absolutely nothing. I think it should have gone up against somebody bigger to make him look stronger. And again, no Wade Barrett to make himself look big. Maybe or hopefully we'll see him on next Monday's Raw. So then you get into the main event, of course. Roman Reigns and Bryan going up against Big Show, Kane, Seth Rollins, J&J Security Entertainment. And obviously it's a 5-on-2. You know who's going to win. And you also know that Bryan and Reigns are going to cross paths because they're making a big stink about their match for Fastlane. And they did. And they ended up winning the match by, disqualification. Well, actually, they won the match not by disqualification. Roman Reigns ended up taking out J&J Security, and they got the win. But there was the time that Daniel Bryan was a little ticked off because Roman tagged himself in, and he ended up getting the pin. And Daniel Bryan was very upset over it. And as you can see, Daniel Bryan, with that cocky type attitude as of late. He knows he's over with the fans and he's taken advantage of this situation. And of course, when Reigns tagged himself in, he got a lot of loud boos from the fans. And I do feel bad for Roman Reigns because before Daniel Bryan came back this year, he was getting cheered. And the minute Daniel Bryan came back and everybody's saying he needs to win the Rumble, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. And Daniel Bryan sort of took the steam out of Roman Reigns. So we saw pushing and shoving between the two, which in my eyes is a good thing for their build up for their Fastlane main event. But did we really need this 5-on-2 handicap to really get them involved in this? I mean, it this is my issue. The WWE is not creative. They do things on the pretense of old storylines, old ideas, and you know, for me, it's really hard to get through a 3-hour Raw. And I'm not ditzing it, but I'm not praising it as well. I'm just giving you my honest opinion on what I thought about it. Um, Hopefully next week's show will be a little bit better. And yeah, we saw Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and whoopee doo. Really, it's just the same old crap. Lesnar makes his appearance. You know, at the Rumble, he got a victory over Cena and Seth Rollins, whereas he didn't have to do too much except for the fact getting thrown through a table. Other than that, he had no offense until the very end of that match. Like I said, John Cena and Seth Rollins made this match as one of the greatest triple threats we've seen in a very long time. And if you took either Cena or Rollins out of this mix, I think that main event could have been, pretty average for the most part. So anyway, I just wanted to put all this stuff out there. It's just sometimes just getting very hard to get through 3 hours of Raw. It wouldn't be so bad if a lot of these matches really meant something. Some of them did, and some of them just don't. And where are some of these leading to? I mean, you know. And I wish they would just give Damien Mizdow, you know, that win that he needs so much. And maybe they're going to wait for him to face off with the Miz and then have him beat him, there and get that big victory. One has to wonder. But anyway, everybody enjoy their Tuesday. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace out, everybody.